am I telling you have to do something that I've heard? No, but just like take care of yourself. Treat yourself like a human that you care about. There's so many people who tell me like, I love, my spouse or my kids or my friends. I love them more than me because they think that's a badge of honor. But really, you can only love people to the level at which you love yourself. So if you're depleting yourself, you're actually giving them a depleted form of love. And when I tell people that, usually then they're willing to actually take care of themselves. So if that hits, just add you to the top of your who needs to be taken care of list and see how dramatically that changes your life, friends. Because it does. It dramatically changes everything in your life. So start focusing on you, get back to you. Hi, welcome to Say More Words, a podcast that was created to emphasize the human experience through stories. I hope that you come here to learn, to expand, and most importantly, learn how to say more words. Speak your story, speak your truth, boo-boo. We're so happy you're here. Good morning, friends. How are you? It has been a minute since we've done a live and a get ready with me, and I need to get ready because I have a busy day. So you're getting ready with me today. Hi, I missed you. How's life? How's summer? Just in case we decide to turn this into a podcast later, I'm going to give you a song of the day. If you don't listen to the podcast, it's called Say More Words. You can find it on all podcast streaming platforms because Sumo loves me and he does that for me. Sumo is the guy who edits my podcast and blasts it out for all you lovely people. He's wonderful. So anyway, song of the day today is Wake Me Up by Avicii. I have spent an unhealthy amount of time doom scrolling this summer. I have. I admit it. It's out there for the world. Okay. Doom scrolling. And that song came on. And on one of the things I was watching, and I forgot how powerful that song is. So that's the song of the day. I've listened to it like 3 times, and I'm just listening to Avicii because it's summer vibes. I don't have any tea. Y'all remember back in the day when I would do tea time with Tamika? I don't have a tea with me, but I do have my water. Because y'all know I'm on this actually taking care of myself journey. I live by the principle of do as I say, not as I do. Sometimes, so we all have moments, and I'm human. So I get to have those moments. And I, went through a journey. You all know this. We're not going back through the journey, but now I'm actually taking care of myself and I'm like moving my body and drinking the water and eating the food. And now I feel great. And now I'm in this journey though that like all of my clothes are too big. So I'm just living in this like baggy jeans are trendy now, right? Like they're trendy. I don't know. That's my journey. This summer has been one of the hardest summers of my life. And the other day I was trying to shame, blame, and guilt myself because I was like, okay, back in the day, I was a nanny in the summer to identical twin boys, and they had a little brother and a little sister, and I could handle that. Why can I not handle what is happening right now in my world? And then I realized that was my job. That was my job. And while, yes, being a parent is my job, but I also have another job. And so trying to manage both has been an adventure, a fun one, but an adventure. And so it has been, it has been a summer. We have spent more time at the pool at Sweet Megan's house. Thankfully, she loves us enough to let us come almost every day. So that has been wonderful. And that's been a way that we've been able to get work. So like, shout out to your community, shout out to my community. I have some of the best in the world on my side. And it's been a thing. It's just been a journey. One I'm glad that I took. But next summer, I am going to be on top of, I'm going to be one of those crazy moms who are like, what camp is happening where? And what do I do? And all of that. But I'm going to be on top of that next summer. That is for sure. Anywho, there's not much like tea today. It is the middle of July. July went from July 5th to July 15th in 5 minutes. Anybody else feel that way? Like, it was wild. And school is about to start, or it's about to, and here's the thing. I say school's about to start, and some people are like, I don't have kids. I don't have kids anymore. Yeah, but the people you work with do. Like, I feel like when school lets out, it changes everything for everybody. It's not just the people who have kids. And so we're about to hit fall. School supplies are back out. My favorite season is school supply season. It is. Like, I love school supplies. Actually, my daughter does too. So she's like, Mom, school supplies are out. I'm like, guess what we're doing? We're school supplying it soon. That's I have to do in the mirror because I don't trust this camera. So school supplies are back out. We're about to go back to school, which means there's gonna be more people on the road. There's people like working again, actually doing things again. If you're an entrepreneur and you have children, apparently this just broke off in my eye. Uh, like you're gonna go back to working real hours again and getting to be out. It's just, I love back to school. It's crazy, but I love getting back to a routine. I love knowing that my kids are cared for a certain amount of days so that I can actually work. Um, I just love it, but I also understand the chaos that comes with it. And also we go from summer season into happy holiday season and fall. And if you live in DFW and you're like me, the fall is nonstop. Galas, events, fundraisers, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Like it's just constant. You know, the kids go back to school and then we're constant until. So I wanted to give you some mid-August, we'll call it mid-August advice. If you don't have kids, back to school doesn't matter to you. We'll call it mid-August advice. Where when mid-August, when everything starts to change in the vibes, what do you do? One, if you are a parent, I highly suggest you do this. The first day of school, we treat like a party. Me and my friend group, this will be year 3 or 4 that we've done this, where we drop our kids off and we sit in the pool all day. We don't jump off of the end. We don't ask everybody to like watch what we're doing. We eat, we drink, we be merry. So if you have kids, I highly suggest you treat the first day of school like a holiday. Block it off on your schedule. It's blocked off on my schedule every year because we're living. So do that. 2, start to prepare yourself now for the fall. Start getting, if you know your kids are home and you want to experience the summer and you want to do the things, instead of blaming and shaming yourself and doing the things, like I'm not telling you to just stop working. Some people can, some people can't. I'm not telling you to do that, but I need you to start preparing now. Don't be shocked by mid-August vibes. Don't be shocked when your schedule starts to fill up. Don't be shocked. And also, don't be shocked that if you don't start working now for that time, that it doesn't happen. Okay, so here's just your friendly reminder. You need to start doing that. 3, make a little bit of time for yourself. Okay? Make a little bit of time for yourself. Set time aside to start planning for the fall. The people who I see absolutely losing their shit in the fall, and honestly, when I have absolutely lost my mind in the fall, is because I didn't plan for the fall before the fall hit. And so then I had been like wading in the water in the ocean for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then told myself to just like go swim the swim part of a triathlon. But I was unprepared. I didn't give myself rest. I didn't stretch. I didn't do anything. I just kept going. So then by December, like people who do that, they're just not fun people. It's hard to be filled with joy when you're drowning, right? So if you are unprepared for the fall, and the fall, what the fall is going to do for you, now is the time to start preparing. Start preconditioning. Start taking care of yourself, moving your body, drinking your water. Stop eating, the summer foods and ice cream and chips. And I almost said fries. I'm not going to say that because you all know that is a hard pass for me. I'm not going to stop eating the fries. I will work out more though, so I can eat the fries. start planning for what's coming up. One of the things that we're doing, and by we, I mean me and some of my friends, is as soon as school starts, like we're gonna have our back to school celebration, of course. And then we're starting 75 hard, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Who knows? But 75 hard is going down just to get back into the routine of things. And because I'm going to be on stages all fall. And in the past, when I was on back-to-back stages, I would die. I would become deceased. I'd become a human who could not function. I became a human who was severely out of breath. Okay. On stage. Because I dance on stage. If you've never seen me on stage, I dance and I sing and I make you do ridiculous things, and yeah, and I'd be out of breath and then I couldn't talk. And you know, I don't want to be that girl, especially since I already have 6 stages booked for this fall and more. You know, my biggest stage is going to be this fall, or biggest stage I've had thus far is this fall. So I'm just, you know, preparing, and with that preparing, 75 hard is part of it. Now, am I telling you you have to do 75 hard? No, but just like take care of yourself. Treat yourself like a human that you care about. There's so many people who tell me like, I love, you know, my spouse or my kids or my friends. I love them more than me, because they think that's a badge of honor. But really, you can only love people to the level at which you love yourself. So if you're depleting yourself, you're actually giving them a depleted form of love. And when I tell people that, usually then they're willing to actually take care of themselves. So if that hits, just add you to the top of your who needs to be taken care of list and see how dramatically that changes your life, friends. Because it does. It dramatically changes everything in your life. So start focusing on you, get back to you, be in this space that like you matter. You also matter. I don't know if you saw my post, but my therapist dropped some knowledge on me recently, and I'm just going to say it here, just to reiterate it. She said, you know, you work so hard to save all of the people and help all of the people because, you know, that is your gift, but like, please don't forget that you're a people too. I was like, oh, am I? What? Okay. So here's your reminder that you are a people too. And as you are preparing for the fall and the fall season and all of the things and all of the stuff and Chelsea Rose is watching, and fun fact, she's getting married soon. She's getting married this fall and I can't wait. Oh God, I can't wait. And also on that note, a very random thing that I have done, is I am now ordained to do weddings. I am. And I have 3 weddings that I am performing this year. So add it to the docket. If you want to add me to your wedding, I'm all in. I love it. I love it. Anyways, so that's part of my fall. My fall is insane. Fall is insane every year. The spring is insane. Fall is insane. It's just what I've come to know, and I've prepared for it. So that's the big thing for you people here in this space watching. Like, you have to prepare for what you know is coming. Just like preparing for a marathon, you have to prepare your schedule, your routine, your mind, your body, your soul, your spiritual, all of it. You have to prepare all of it so that you're not drowning in the middle of the ocean when all of it's happening and you knew it was going to happen. It's a kicker. You knew it was going to happen. So with that, a couple of things. I'm throwing a party and I can't wait. It has been 7 years since I started my business. It has been 3 years since I started Say More Words. Say More Words, I started kicking and screaming, actually. My friend Sumo, Jeremy is his government name, but it feels weird. Sumo is his friend given name, so that's what we call him. Sumo came to me 3 years ago and was like, you are doing yourself and your people a disservice by not having a podcast. So we have to do this, and I'm going to help you. And I was like, fine. So I started recording, and I have a globally ranked podcast, which was the #1 podcast I didn't want to do, which was about my story of my family and my life and the things that have happened to me. Something that I kept very secret when I moved to Texas, like told nobody. I didn't want anybody to know that part of my life. And when I finally did that podcast, and I say finally, it was episode 11, but I did it again, kicking and screaming because I am who I am. When I finally did that podcast, it's a globally ranked podcast. It has been shared, I don't even know how many times. And it's the Finding the Joy in My Trauma, and it's helped so many people. So one, thank you to Jeremy for pushing me to say the quiet things out loud and making me start the podcast, because now it's a globally ranked podcast in self-help, which there's lots of people who are like, I have a globally ranked, top 1% globally ranked podcast, and a lot of them are in business. And that is a much smaller category. To be a top 5% globally ranked podcast person in self-help is very, very hard when you are a quote unquote nobody. Now, I am not calling myself a nobody. I'm just saying that the whole world doesn't know me yet. Yet being the key term. And I made it. I made it in the top 5%. And so we're throwing a party and celebrating Say More Words. We're going to record it live, and you can come to the live, you can come to the party, you can come to both, doesn't matter. But we're doing it in my favorite place, my stone home, at Stone House in Colleyville, which some of you may remember when I owned a co-working space, was right next door to that. And we're going to record live with really influential people who are going to tell their stories, and you never know like how their stories are going to change you or change your outlook or change your life. And then of course they will go live on the podcast for weeks after we record, and then we're going to celebrate. We're going to champagne toast this life. We are going to champagne toast the podcast. We are going to champagne toast the fact that I am doing this and my career is growing and exploding. And part of it too, one of the things that I say, if you've been here a minute, is that misery loves company, but joy throws much better parties. And I stopped throwing parties when I was in misery. And so I'm done with that. We're not living that life anymore. Now we're throwing parties. And so be on the lookout for more parties coming back up, like the Celebrate Anything parties that we used to throw back in the day, and just living. I spent a lot of time sad, and I spent a lot of time in grief, and I spent a lot of time working through things that I haven't even told you all about yet. And I'm done. I've healed. I've worked. I'm still healing. I tell you all, you're going to keep healing for forever and ever and ever. The healing doesn't ever stop. So that's fun. But it's a journey. And I just got through one of the hardest parts of my journey, and still am, kind of. And it's just, so we're going to throw a party and we're going to celebrate. So I really hope that you can be there. I will drop a link somewhere. It's on my page. I am fearful of dropping links because, then Facebook stops things, and I hate that, but I'll drop a link. And then another cool thing that we're doing is the retreat. So we're doing it's not even really a retreat, friends, okay? It's called the Refill Retreat, and it's here in DFW. One, because it's happening right after school starts, and I know life is crazy, and I know life is insane. So we're gonna I have powder all over me. Lord help me. So we're gonna stay here in DFW. We have a beautiful home with a beautiful ambiance, and we are going to work through some of the head trash, the giving you back your power that I do with my clients, and we're going to do it in a weekend. And we are going to power through giving you a foundation so that the fall, it's basically going to be like your pre-workout to the marathon that is the fall, but it's for your head, your body, your soul, your mind. And it's meant to refill you up. It is a walletless weekend, which means that I am taking care of all of your food, all of your experiences, which I just started signing up the experiences, and they're amazing. Everything is catered to you where you don't have to think. That's what's important. I want this to be a weekend where you don't have to think. You don't have to take care of anybody. You don't have to do anything. And doing weekends like this have been so foundationally changing for me. I used to do them once a quarter. I'm bringing it back to doing it once a quarter because it allows me the space to breathe, to pour back into myself so that I can pour into others and then not feel like my soul is just like up here. So, and I priced it at a, like, you would be stupid not to price for all the things that you're getting for the weekend. You're getting me, you're getting some of the practitioners that I love here in DFW who are going to be doing breath work and sound healing. And, but also with that, you get your personality recipe with me. So you get to come back home to you. So if you are like, I need to come back home to me and I don't want to spend a lot of money, and I also don't want to travel because we are doing a retreat in Fredericksburg this fall, then this is the spot. 4 spots are already gone on this weekend. So we don't have many left. It's kept small. So I hope that you'll join us in that space and in that healing. So here we go. Fall's coming. July is almost over. I lit my first fall candle the other day. It was amazing because I woke up and it was 75 degrees, and that is the sign that a fall candle can be lit. So fall is coming, and all of the wonderfulness and all of the chaos and all of the dreams coming true. And I can't wait. I can't wait to do it with you. So that's the tea for today. It was all over the place, but you should expect nothing less. And if you've watched this far and you want a link to the party, you want your invite to the party, you want your invite to the weekend, just let me know. I'll send it to you. Drop a comment, send me a DM, send me a message or a pigeon, text me if you are lucky enough to have my number. And I'll get you on the list. I love y'all. Thanks for letting me yap. Thanks for listening to me yap. Thanks for being here. Bye.